Welcome everybody to Co-op Chat from on Co-op Guild. So here with Derek, of course, and we're here to talk about stuff, lots of good stuff. So if you're new here, this is our we try to do somewhat weekly at least. It doesn't always work out, but live chat about various board game topics. So we have a fun one for you today, I think. So I don't see lots of friends here. See Jen, how's it going? Welcome. Pickle's here. Hey, how's it going, Pickle? Let's see. Greg is here. Hey, how's it going, Greg? Who did I miss? There's lots of people here. Oh my gosh. Kim's here. Elaine, Jonathan. Lots of friends here today. Awesome. Hey, Darren. Hey, Jan. How's it going? Okay. I want to make this announcement now. There is currently a poll if you're here, if you're watching this live on the YouTube live chat. So it is about the topic we're talking about today. The topic we're talking about is the concept of previews versus reviews. And full disclosure, this is inspired by Alex from Board Game Co's video he posted yesterday on it. He posted that video, and I'm like, you know what? I have lots of thoughts. I want to share them. So
I want to talk about it.
I do. And so I have a link to his video in the description below. So go check out his stuff because he did a really good job at covering a lot of content coverage over there. But I wanted to share because I think we'll have different opinions over here and different perspectives that I think might make this conversation fun. So, hey Ron, how's it going? So Matt's here. Awesome. Okay. Yeah, full disclosure. Like I said, the topic today is talking about previews versus reviews and like the usage of that term in the board game space, and we'll dive into it. But I have a poll going right now. I'm curious what you think of how you use the term previews, or how you would like to use that term previews, I guess, in the space. So,
Jan.
so okay. So maybe we should just dive into it. And
yeah, do it.
Alex, I think, did a really good job. So I'm giving full credit here. He kind of distilled it down that there's basically two camps talking about the word preview versus and review and how they're used. One camp is that preview is used when the content is not in general release. So it is an early view of it, and it could be whatever it is, but basically the key factor is it's before it's widely available or generally available to the public. Preview also is used in the fact that you are covering a game, but you're not saying your opinion about it. So those are basically the two camps they fall into. And I was digging into this more because like I have my opinion, and I'll definitely share it here in a second.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
But I was like, oh man, I'm gonna be digging into this. Like, am I thinking this differently? Like, where? And I decided to do some fun searching online. So like, pull this up, review and preview. So, this was interesting because this was talking about how a review is opinionated, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that aligns with that, and the preview is talking about the performance in a sense, right? Or this is a generic definition that popped up. But you showcase a product while a review is opinion. So this aligns to what Alex was saying in his video.
Okay.
But then I look at other things like preview, the word preview. Like, what does that mean? And definitions are word uses. It's not a declarative statement. So an inspection or viewing of something before it is bought or becomes generally known and available. So that aligns with the other camp. And if I do even more searching out there, you can see examples of both used across the board. I don't think this is a board game specific issue. I think this is just a general approach issue across the world. So those are a couple examples there.
Okay.
Let's not bury the lead. For me, I am very adamant in that I am very much in the camp of preview is this content is not released I'm going to label as a preview so people know that, right?
Mhm.
I do share opinions in my preview videos. So to that point, I am a little bit that I could label as a review from that standpoint. However, my approach is I want to be clear that what I'm covering, what I'm sharing my opinion about, is not the final product. In fact, I don't use the word review as labeling my opinions on it. I specifically use the term impression. I do that
Okay.
intentionally because when I get a preview copy of a game, or I'm using the term, sorry, a demo copy of the game
A
is often,
pre-release, yes,
yeah, exactly.
copy of
It's
the game.
often like only part of the game, and of course things change. A perfect example: Under Siege. When I covered that game, there was a lot of things I liked about it, some things I didn't like about it. If I would have reviewed the game at that time, those negatives would definitely have been called out. But like I provided feedback and others as well, and the game changed since I covered it. And so like I don't want to muddy the waters with opinions on the game when they are not in the game's not in its final state. That's to me that's very important. And so
Okay.
that's why I'm driven to use the word preview to help with that clarity aspect of it.
All right. Mr. Steve, I did not do the homework and watch Alex's video. So my question's more along the lines of so from what you're saying, is he saying that that if you're doing a preview, you can't say anything that you think, you just preview and then move on? Is that what
Yeah, a
you're
preview
getting at?
is a good summary of it. A preview is objective and a review is subjective. So a preview is
Oh
you're
boy.
talking about aspects of the game. There's no opinion or viewpoint involved.
Yeah, I don't
Hey,
agree with that at all. I don't agree with that at all.
okay.
I think that, and maybe that's the thing. I think maybe more intellectual people than me may feel that I'm going to chop it down to the base bones of it. Preview. No one has the games yet. It's preview. So
Okay.
if someone's playing, even if you translate it to the video game space, right? A preview of I'll just use an arbitrary game that it's the top of my mind because it's releasing soon. Is Frostpunk 2. It's
Mm-hmm.
not out yet,
Mm-hmm.
but content creators have keys to it so they can play it. That's a preview.
Yep.
Um, I think there is a strong difference in terms of paid preview versus
Yes.
unpaid preview.
Yep.
If it is a paid preview, then you display the game, you display the mechanics, and you move on. And then you can share your thoughts in an unpaid medium of what you thought of the game that you played. But if you're being paid by the company to showcase the game, that doesn't mean that you're disingenuous. That doesn't mean that you lie or you say this is the greatest game since sliced bread. That means that you keep all of those opinions out. You play the game. You just stay. It's kind of um, I think Mike at One Stop Co-op Shop, I think he does that on his previews most of the time, where it's just here's the game, here's mechanics, that's it, and then he does a 5 and 5 of it, which he gives his thoughts afterwards. Um, he may inject some thought. I don't. I
He normally has
some
dots in there at the end.
Yeah,
He
so I
does do
guess
that.
then inject
Yeah.
inject content creator that people prefer and that who all you prefer in chat that does what I'm talking about. But it's display mechanics. Don't talk about what you think or how you feel of it and be done. Right? Don't say it's great. Don't say anything. Just do mechanics.
So I actually
That's
disagree
paid.
with your statement there.
To me, that's paid.
So I think you can say your opinion in a paid preview or be paid content. I think it's totally fine. The kicker is you have to have something like this on the screen, and I don't do paid stuff, so all I have is this message: review copy provided. Because
Yeah, I know and to Matt's point, I know Mike doesn't do paid stuff. I'm just saying when I used his name, it was more
right, right,
mechanic based, not paid based.
Agreed. But the important thing is like having you have to disclose anything of value that transpired between you if you're sharing your opinion. That's how
That's
I
a
view it.
that's a little nuance too for me. Like
Well,
because
that is
a
technically
review copy provided can also go on unpaid.
no. Well, technically, you're being paid. Like according to YouTube's policies,
Uh-huh.
if you have something of value that was given to you, it is technically you need to disclose that as opposed to as it's covering the regulation side of it. I can pull up the policies if you're
No,
really
no,
curious
no,
about
no.
it,
I
but
don't.
I'm planning on this
It's
video.
not. I don't think it's that it's not that I don't believe you. I believe you 100%. I think it's just more
Yeah,
when it comes to paid content. To me, they're paying you to show their game, so show their game.
yeah,
When it comes to unpaid content, okay, they're like, and this is the reason why people like One Stop or you or myself or Meet Me at the Table don't take money for stuff. One of the reasons why is because I'll say one of, not the only, is because we want to say things like, this game, I don't like this.
sure, sure.
They could improve this or they could improve that. And I think that there is value in both, paid and unpaid,
Hmm.
but I'm diverging. So, but when it comes to preview, to me, it just boils down to paid and unpaid of something the masses don't have yet. Period. Nothing more, nothing less.
You mean if the masses can pay to get the product, it is reviews
It is
category.
not out yet.
It's not out yet. Yeah, yeah, gotcha.
It has not delivered in mass to any region of the globe.
Fair. Yep,
That is preview to me.
yep.
I guess that's a better way to put it. Before we dive into the nuances of paid and unpaid, just to circle back to the topic, that's what preview means to me.
Yes. Some really good comments in here. I'm gonna pull up on the screen here. So let's see.
Sure.
I also think the perspective of the viewer is important. I don't care if there are opinions. I go to watch a preview to learn about the game. The opinions are irrelevant to me, which is I see that a lot
That's
with some people.
that, but that's my once again. That Greg, I would say you're right. Before we jump to Dan's, I would say you're right. However, I think that there is a subconscious thing that happens where it could affect your thoughts of a game. You can be as mentally strong as you want to be.
Hmm.
So there have been tons of studies about subconscious suggestion. One of the main keys that they show about that stuff is like, hey, the small box of popcorn is 1.99 and this large box of popcorn is 7.99, and they inject a middle sized box of popcorn for like 5.99, and then they say, well, for $2 more you can get a
Yeah,
bigger popcorn, and so you end up buying the more expensive one. The power of influence and suggestion exists. There's actually
yeah,
a lot of research behind it, and I think when it comes to this board game space, it's no different.
sure.
If you have a content creator that you really are connected with, I think that even if you're saying, oh, I'm mentally strong and I could get past that stuff, truly they're the person that you trust and the person that they can subconsciously influence you towards something by what they say,
Yeah,
which is why I think being a content creator, and we've talked about this before, there's a responsibility
yeah.
personally that I think there is to it. Anyway, go on to Dan's one. Sorry.
Agreed. Steve had an interesting comment here too. Most content I see with the title preview, I usually ignore because in the board game hobby they seem to be paid promotional work. I would like a full opinion, but it doesn't seem like the trend. Which is yeah, maybe that's another usage of using a preview to communicate that it was paid in some way, shape, or form. Um,
Mm.
yeah, that gets tricky. That gets even
Because that's not true.
no,
I
it's
think that
not. It's
that's the
not.
thing. That's a blanket statement that's not true. Only because you say most content you see, which is true, because the most content that you choose to view is by people who get paid for promotional work, if that is your choice and your proclivities of what you want to look at. There is no downing that. There's no saying that's
Mhm.
bad, it's not good, it's not bad. It's
Yep.
your preference.
Right.
However, We've got Co-op Guild, doesn't take any money. It's not paid promotional. We've got Meet Me at the Table, doesn't take money. It's not promotional. We've got One Stop Co-op Shop, doesn't take money. It's not promotional. We got me, I don't take money.
Mhm.
It's not promotional. So if you choose to watch people who get paid for promotional work, then yes, by and large,
Yep.
that's what you're going to see.
Jen as well. Jen Cam plays game, doesn't take money either. So
Yeah, Jen doesn't take money. So that I think that's the thing. It's if you want to, if you care, and then I'll ask if you care to watch people who don't take money for stuff and they're being genuine about it. Jen's being genuine about it. Steve is being genuine about it. If you want them to, and you want a genuine how they feel, and how they play games, what games they like, then watch them, and then you'll get an opinion on it, right? You'll get an honest opinion.
nice, no. Yeah, I think that's a good comment. But I want to be very clear though. Technically, review copies, as per the policy of the thing, is still a financial transaction to some extent. It's not, and
Because they
it's
pay
funny
for shipping,
because what's
or
that?
they pay because of what the company pays for shipping.
No, because something of value was given. Like technically, and it makes sense though because if someone were to give us a game, a review copy game, I could go around and sell that, and I now have money. I have game money. It's just
Okay.
the money's in a
You
different form, right?
you approach it from a legal perspective. I
It's from a
understand.
legal
I
perspective.
understand.
That is
I
that's
understand.
how it's
Okay.
interpreted,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Now,
Yep.
interesting enough, I did this at One Stop Co-op Shop where I checked that box, hey, sponsored content, because I want to be very clear. Hey, I got a review copy. I'm covering this game.
Mhm. Mhm.
Interestingly enough, I stopped doing that because when people saw that, they assumed I was being paid, and that wasn't true. So
Yeah,
now
happened to say
instead,
that
I
too.
specifically, and that's why I created this pop up specifically, so it's very clear. Hey, by the way, I don't check that box. Instead, I do it myself manually with this review copy provided, so you know that
Yeah.
I have review copy when I'm sharing my opinion.
And the tough part is that I think that there's been a lot of, and I'll say it very broadly. There's been a lot of misconceptions and a few areas of dishonesty in this content creator space that has led a lot of people to lose trust
Yeah.
in when someone says, I didn't get paid for this. So we can say that all day long, but if someone's been jaded,
Mhm.
by others taking advantage of that trust, they'll be like, I don't trust that you're lying.
Right. Sure.
There's no way you're a shill for the company and all this other stuff. When we're like, you could look at the books. I got nothing. so but yeah, I understand that. It's hard. All that to say, it's hard. Anyway,
It
more.
is.
I see a lot of con like
Yeah.
stuff flowing. So let me
I agree
stop
with what
talking.
Derek's saying here a little. So it says, always just look at it as reviews show off the game. Its features. Reviews are where you share your opinion on the product. Whether you're paid or not doesn't really change what them to me, what they are to me. Yeah, which I agree. I think the paid part of it is a little muddling a little bit here because I think that is almost a separate topic than the concept
Yeah,
of
yeah,
preview
yeah,
review
yeah,
stuff
yeah,
right there.
yeah, yeah.
Um, so okay, let me get back to what I was saying earlier. So I specifically call them as previews. I do that intentionally, and I do that intentionally because I want to keep the door open that I am likely to come back and do another video on it. That's I'm gonna call it a review. If I have a video labeled as review and it was an early copy of it, and then another I haven't want to do another one, and I want to do a review again, it gets a little more. It muddies the water. What comes down to it, like, and that's from how I want to organize my videos and present them to viewers.
Mm,
So I, and I've been thinking about this a lot lately. I feel like we, as a whole, are limiting ourselves to word usage and clarity in this space. I There's definitely two camps out there, and I see the validity to both of them. My opinion is very much in preview is before it's released, but I
mm,
can totally understand the preview as, hey, just overview the game. That's fine. What I think is a really good solution is if you want to call a review of something that is not the full game, you can be clear about that. You can be like, I'm reviewing the demo. review demo, demo reviewed, and that some just either put in a title, description, anywhere, or even state it on the video. Hey, my review of the demo is this, or
Yeah.
my review of, and you could get really specific too. My review of Rules version 1.2 for this, which I is not sustainable, but like you could do that, right? In theory,
I
and be very
enjoyed that.
clear that hey, by the way, this review is valid to only to the content I saw, and
Yeah,
that way, if you
yeah.
come back later and somebody watches it later, because this is the big thing I struggle with. If I go on Board Game Geek and I click on a video that's labeled review,
Mm.
and it's after like maybe a year later after everything's been released, I can get really confused on like, well, was this the prototype you played, or was this the actual game you played? And because
Mm.
those prototype and actual games, they are different experiences.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It is very, very rare when a prototype is at the same level as a production copy. I've seen it
Yeah.
like maybe twice ever. So, like, it's almost always just a part of the game too.
Yeah, yeah, and it changes drastically.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and changes always happen, all that stuff. So,
Yeah.
like, I want to know that as a viewer, and like, if you put the title review in there, you could easily just say, "Hey, review of the demo." Cool, we're good. I'm okay with that. You know, or if you, and that's what I've done as well, is in my, I do the different segments where my reviews I have an overview I called. Hey, this is just talking about the game overall structure, right? You can also use, I know, I think that we could be more descriptive in how we do it rather than trying to pigeonhole ourselves into using the words preview and review. You know what I'm trying to say?
Okay. Same. Yeah, you say more. Say more. Say more.
I think it, oh, I don't know what to say. So,
No, I mean,
I
I'm
mean, what
agreeing
it comes
with
down to
you.
is
I'm
like,
agreeing with you on what you're saying. I think being more prescriptive about it is correct. I'm
so
just trying to see if you're breaking that down
yeah,
a
let
little
me give
bit
it, let
more.
me give a really good example. I did a review for Isofer Guard.
Mm.
Since then, there have been updates to it, changes to it, right?
Uh,
We'll call them like 1.5 version, right? I don't know. Where they added new cards, they fixed some things, they added this new puzzle element. I want to go back and review that game. Want to go back and review the game? It would make sense for me to say, hey, review of version 1.5,
this
review
thing,
of
yeah,
this
yeah.
new stuff,
Okay,
right?
okay, okay,
Because
okay.
that way, someone comes back later, they know that, hey, which review is this? What am I covering? You know what I'm trying to
Yeah,
say? And
yeah,
this
yep.
could be done in the earlier stages as well. Hey, review of the demo. So
Right.
say more,
Dan's like,
no.
say
Yeah,
more.
exactly.
No. Aurora Borealis. May I see it? No.
At this time of the year, localized in your kitchen.
Yes. May I
Yeah,
see
yeah,
it?
Jen. Updated review. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. And Chris had an interesting one where he said he sees review copies as removing a cost rather than providing a value.
Removing a cost. I'm not sure I'm following that.
So I look at that. I guess I'm interpreting that, and it's up to Chris to kind of break that down more. But I interpret that as a review copy of if someone hasn't gotten it yet, then you don't need to get it based on this review if you align with the same type of games I like. And it's not really adding a value to the game, whereas a preview copy does. I'm on the
Oh,
fence. I don't know.
sure. Yeah. Yeah, I can see that a little bit. So, someone's got interesting comment. I was just with there were also rules overviews that no opinions. I'm guessing just how to play the
Just
game for people who don't read rule books. Yeah, those doing instructional videos. I give anybody who does like a really good instructional video props. That is hard to do, especially for me.
it
Like
is. It is hard. It
it's
is hard.
really that's if we're talking about doing different types of content, that is probably the hardest type of video content to create in my opinion. Is you have to be very meticulous, very accurate, and like how do you break down the rulebook to explain it clearly? It's challenging. It's challenging.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you have to get every single corner of the rule book
Yeah,
on an instructional video.
yeah.
There's one
Well,
that
unless you're
does
like
it.
me, and they do the jump starts, which are like the opposite of
uh,
that. I just go, here's
well,
a quick
I think the jump
overview of the
starts is
rules.
what they are meant to be, which is
Right.
a here's enough to get you started, to get
Yeah.
you over that hump, and then you can read the rule book to learn the rest, which is what their purpose is. There's a content creator. God, I can't remember his name.
Josh, you don't need to pay more. That's fair. Fair.
There's a content creator who does very funny instructional videos, and they're very well done. And I cannot remember his name. I can't. It's I don't know, but he did one for like Seventh Citadel.
Yeah,
and it was it was very funny, but it was also fully instructional, and it was really good. He did the same thing for Oathsworn, and I cannot remember his name. It's gone. No, it's not Paul. Paul would kill me if I forgot his name. What are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly. How dare you?
Paul would throttle me in my sleep. No, I can't remember his name, but it's all VOD. It's not live. It's all VOD or video on demand or
recorded videos,
whatever you want.
Recorded and edited. In fact, I think instructional videos almost have to be recorded and edited. I don't think you can do well live.
Yeah, I think I did a live instructional video of Gloomik Hillforth once, and I was like, this should have been recorded.
Yeah, I think I did the same thing too. I tried the same. So John Game's excellent.
He's good. He's good, but it's not him. Now I'm gonna have to go look for it. Hold on 1 second. Anyway, continue. I'll find
Knights Around the Table.
I don't know who that is.
I don't know that. Not sure. Steve says, you are right. It comes down to the content you watch, because I feel like I can trust you to give positives and negatives, but there are many channels that play into FOMO.
I found them. Just like that. Quick search. Adventures in Creative Software is the name of... Yeah, Adventures in Creative Software. Dan got it.
Oh, got it.
That's the person. If you've ever like watch Adventures in Creative Software's instructional videos, they are very, very well done. Very well done. And they are hilarious. So
I don't think I've seen them yet. I gotta check it out.
Oh, they're so good. I always look forward to whatever, like he did one for he just did one for Dawn of Madness. Ooh, I need to look at that. But he's done them for a lot of board, a couple board games. Let me say a few, not a couple, a few board games out there. And they're amazingly well done. He did one for ISS Vanguard, so just check him out. He did one for Drenagor as well. Check him out. He's very, very good.
Chris says, I've enjoyed the let's figure this out together approach for Elder Scrolls, which I think is a nod to you, Derek, because you do an excellent job with that. So.
What? Who? Did I play that game? What?
That's an interesting. It's a really cool way of presenting the game. I'd say that where like it provides more of a collaborative space, a community where everyone's working together trying to figure it out, and like they're helping you, but you're also helping them at the same time, you know? So like everyone's building this knowledge base together to understand this game.
Yeah.
I think that's a really cool approach. So
yeah, no, that's my method of play.
Yep.
It's not for everybody. It's not for everybody, but that's what I enjoy, because in my head, when I'm streaming and people are in the chat, I don't know how my brain functions to that capacity, but I actually do not feel alone. I don't feel like I'm sitting at my table talking to a cam.
Yep.
I actually feel that there's people sitting around. I even visualize people sitting around the table talking to me as chat is talking, and
that's cool.
It's helped me a ton. So anyway,
yeah, and that's good point too. It shows more what it's like to get the game, right? Because if you cut out all that nuance, then you might get a little bit different opinion. So let's have.
But some people like the cut out of that nuance. I only give a nod to that because there are people who prefer pre-recorded content. They don't care to learn it with you. They have no interest in seeing it taken out the box and set up on the table. They just want to see mechanics and how the game is played, and that's it.
Totally get it. Yeah. And I'm with Greg too. Yes, we love to heckle you during the game. Which I feel kind of bad, but at the same time I don't. But I feel like most of my comments when I'm watching a live stream are me trying to like poke you, like heckle you a little bit.
That's what friends do, man. My job is to make your life harder.
Like, no, I'm not gonna help you. I'm just gonna mess with you.
And Dan, you're not alone in wondering how your brain functions. Man.
Yep.
I would say I'm not crazy. My mother had me tested, but that's not true.
Yeah, and that's a good point, man. There are plenty of channels that do pre-recorded, so different is good. And actually, that was the reason why I started doing live content, because at the time I was part of One Stop, and I felt like we had all this great content on there, but there was a gap. Like there was no live coverage. I'm like, I want to fill that void. That seems cool to me. Let's try it.
Yeah.
Try it on. That's how I got it. Started doing live stuff. So,
So,
but
uh,
go ahead.
yes. So we get back to. I know you were saying this was inspired by Alex
Yeah.
from Board Game Co's. The disc. Well, I wouldn't even call it a discussion. I have thoughts on that as well. I think that a conversation like this can't be one sided. Hey, I'm going to sit in front of a camera and tell you my thoughts, which is fine. It's your channel. Do what you want. But there's no. I think we've talked about this before. There's no feedback. There's no discussion point. It's just me talking. And
Yeah. Sharing your
I,
thoughts.
I,
Yep.
I usually skip those only because if it's live, then we could chat. We could read the chat and have conversations. But if it's pre-recorded, it's hey everybody, let me tell you what I think, and there's no room for feedback on while the conversation's going on. So I don't like that. Anyway, you were saying that you had thoughts about it. Let's continue those.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. So let me jump back on the train that I was on. So previews versus reviews.
Read my message now. Okay. Uh-oh. Nope. Nope. Get rid of that guy, please.
Yep. Okay, you're out.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry about that, people.
And that one too. I think that
Okay, so
yeah. Let's move on.
so previews versus reviews. So we covered the so I'm gonna get back on track here. Um
I've been called worse. I don't care.
yeah, it's not worth it, but it's not worth it,
Yeah.
people. We're gonna
I've
ignore and
been
move on. So
I've been called worse.
don't worry about it. So oh, you can still see them? I'm
Hold
sorry, I thought I
on.
can't see them right now, so
I just reported them.
I can try to delete them real quick for you guys. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
I blocked them.
Yeah. It's like I said,
Okay.
it's so it is what it is. I've been called worse, and yep.
Yep.
Welcome,
Sorry
well,
about it. Sorry about
welcome
it. Okay.
to the world we live in.
Yep. All right, so let me see, keep going. So previews versus reviews. We had. So I think there's value in what I'm saying is how do you clearly communicate? I'm seeing in the chat those opinions on both sides, honestly, which is great. I was curious when I set the poll up. I haven't looked at poll results yet. I'm curious, but I was curious if there's going to be a bit of a selection bias, and it probably still is,
Mhm.
because people who are watching this channel might be watching the channel because how they like how we do the preview and review organization. So that might still be not exist, but it would be interesting to do like a more generic poll somewhere. I'm not trying to do that to try to get that selection bias removed from it, because I'm really curious like what the overall population would approach.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
oh, I'm sorry, Sarah. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Sorry, Sarah.
I
Yeah. We set stuff up so that people can't do that, but it's not a bot. It's actually a person doing that.
yep. They
So
unfortunately they subscribed and they were able to post messages.
yeah.
I did block him as soon as I can, so
Yeah, and
I
I
apologize.
did the block and then the report as well. Yeah, hold up. Block that. That's coming in as well.
Yep, blocked him.
Yeah. So
So
all right. Well, let's continue
okay,
on.
so keep going.
Yep.
So yeah, so I think that is an issue. What was I talking about and stuff? Sorry, guys.
We were talking about the video. Like you were just going down your bullet point things.
Okay. Okay, so sorry. let's see. The previews versus reviews. So let me get back on track. They now I think I already talked about the fact that like I think it makes a lot of sense to be more descriptive in there because I think that's going to help us all navigate through that space.
Mm.
And I think that is something that it's interesting, and I wonder if we approach that way because of how things are categorized. We kind of see the community as a whole, and I feel like we kind of get stuck in this. There's only certain types of content out there, and it doesn't have to be that way. So, uh, like we don't have to fit into the molds that are provided on like I think this kind of stems a little bit to Board Game Geek a little bit too because like I come on Board Game Geek and there's no category for videos label the videos as a preview. You have session, you have review, you have instructional, you have humor, and then you have like other, for example. And like I don't think preview falls into any of those categories cleanly. You know what I'm trying to say?
Hmm.
So yeah. So yeah.
Boy, this is graded quickly.
So so anyway, so I think that is part of the issue is I wonder if we're just limiting ourselves in how we approach these topics,
Could
our
be.
approach this categorization. Because like, there's no reason we can't have like an overview category in Board Game Geek, right? Or the preview category to help us. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Are we limiting ourselves as a community with trying to fit into these categories? So
Could be. Could be. Yeah, it could be that we're doing that. I know Greg said Jen mentioned that earlier as well, but it could be that.
yeah.
Hmm.
So
Something to think about.
but okay, I'm curious what the poll is going to say. I haven't looked it up. Let me look this up real quick. So, oh wow. Okay, I'm going to end this. Um, let me end the poll because this is really interesting. So, the poll here says 57% of people use it as coverage before games release. 57% use the term preview that way, and 42% use the coverage that the game doesn't you don't share opinions. So that is pretty darn close. That's a lot closer than I expected, honestly.
Hmm.
So that's really interesting. So hey, how's it going, Dads and Dice? The game could possibly change between the time you previewed and posted it. I think they are different and opinions aren't necessarily fair. It's not a final product. Yeah, I agree that, but I think at the same time opinions need to be shared at the time of a preview. Oh, sorry, at time before release because Alex mentioned this video, and I agree with what him on this point. Like that is the time when people are going to be buying the game, are making the purchasing decisions, and that opinion is going to be valuable to them. So
Yeah.
yeah, that
Can
is
you can you make me admin
I
on this
can
chat, please? Please do
sure.
that. So that I you don't have to keep breaking your thought processes as these ignorant
Yeah, can you
people.
put a message on there? So
Yeah, let me see. See if it comes in as admin.
yeah, I can
Uh,
mod you, Jen.
yeah. Yeah, mod Jen as well, so we can both of us can kind of
Yeah,
police
that'd
this while
be
you talk.
appreciative because I am trying
Because
to
it's throwing everything off, and it's I think that's the thing. Port. Uh, port.
okay.
Yeah, it is doing that. All right, yep. Oh, there we go. Sweet. So remove. All right, cool. Thank you. I will continue on talking. This We got this.
Yep, we got. I think I got a bunch of us doing that as well. So, okay. Sorry about that, guys. So, I think that is. I think that's the. Where was I? I'm sorry, I forgot what I was saying. Lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, that's right. Dads and Dice. That's right. So yeah, because I think it's important to make sure you share your opinion at that time because that's when you're going to make that purchase decision. But I think it's very important to be very clear at, hey, how much of the like this is. I've only seen part of the game, right? And
Mm,
I think most people understand a demo copy is going to be subject to change, right? I try to be clear about that when covering games. Like, hey, I'm doing a playthrough of this preview. This is all subject to change. Blah blah blah. So and that's why I also use impressions as well, because I think while games aren't likely to radically change, they are going to be
mm,
somewhat consistent. But um, there is value in sharing that opinion. However, there's details around how the game works that are likely to change, and that is important to understand. So
mm. Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree.
so yeah, I think opinions should be shared, but you need to be clear about what you're reviewing. And I think this kind of gets down to the point of, it comes down to the core of doing content, right?
Mm.
In my opinion, is you have to have the respect for your audience.
Yes.
That's the
Yeah.
number one thing you have to do. I don't care what you're doing out there. You have to have respect for your audience because and just the first step is like just making sure to be as clear as possible. You're gonna make mistakes. Things are gonna happen, right? But like having that in the forefront is what you got to do. So,
Yeah.
all right.
Yep.
So yeah. Any other thoughts on that, Derek? I'm curious.
No, no, I don't think I agree I agree with everything that you said. I think you and Jen both have put some really great points forward. I wish she was part of this because she's got some really great insight as always and coming into this. And it's more, let's not box ourselves in by these things and be a little bit more open to some interpretations, right?
Yeah, for sure.
As long as you're goodness as long as you're being upfront about, is there a ban button? Hide
Oh,
user. There it is. Boom, gone. As long as you're open, as long as you're saying that, like per YouTube regulations, what's review copy, what isn't review copy, that type of thing,
for sure,
then that'd be helpful. Yep.
for sure. Okay, I think that's probably all we got today then. So,
Yep. Yep. I
what
think
do you
that'll
have coming
cover
up on your channel, Derek?
it. Arkham Horror with Kate and Cynthia, and then we crossed a milestone threshold, which makes me happy. So we'll be doing a celebration of that.
3,000 subs finally. I've been so man, I'm so excited for you. I'm so excited, so happy for you. Sorry, let
Yeah,
me restate
yeah.
that. So it's
Thank you,
about
thank you.
time. Oh man, I was like, come on, you gotta get there. So
Oh, people get there in their old time, and I'm very thankful for it.
I, yeah, you do great work, and I can't wait for. I'm so happy you're seeing the success. So,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah, yeah. Thank you so much. I really
what are you doing?
appreciate it.
I don't know if you've stated. Well, how about state now? What are you doing for your 3,000 sub?
There will be a giveaway, so there will be some board game giveaways. Lots of giveaways. Lots of games to give away. I put a form in that stream as well as on your channel and some other channels, to where you can say if you want to be part of that giveaway, and then there's a Q&A session at the bottom that you could ask your questions, because it'll be a Q&A session, hanging out, giving away games, just chatting, and any questions that you have within reason that I can answer, I will answer,
Sweet.
and we'll go from there. Yeah. So what do you got coming up?
So I have. Well, I gotta figure out. I'm going to make sure it's okay with Kim, but I want to do more Earth Under Siege because I'm really enjoying the campaign. The kicker
Okay.
is she's going to be traveling, and so I want to make sure it's okay if I continue the story without her. And the cool thing about it is it's very easy for you to take a character and turn them into what's called squad member, so you don't have to manage multiple hands. It makes it
Mm,
easy to like add or remove characters as you play. So, because my goal is I want to get to a certain point in the campaign, so I can do the review. There's a specific type of game or specific mode in the game that I have yet to experience. I want to experience that first before do the review. So that's my goal.
yeah.
So I gotta figure that. That might be Monday. I apologize, everyone. I was supposed to do co-op corner, and to be frank, I have been exhausted. I've been burning the wick at both ends. I won't go into the details here, but yeah. So it's been exhausted. So I'm hoping to get that done either tonight or tomorrow night because I really want to get that out because I do enjoy doing that coverage. So it'll be
Yeah.
one of those 2 nights. And then I have other games I am working on. I am editing a playthrough for Deliverance, upcoming expansion that's coming on Kickstarter, I believe.
Mm,
So that's if you like Deliverance, you're going to. This is the easy buy, honestly. They know the formula. Did an excellent job with that one. That was really fun. I just got Terminus Frontier. That's an
mm.
upcoming sci-fi. I call it dungeon crawl type game,
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
crawler.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of different elements in it. But so that is, I'll be diving to that this weekend to try to prep for another preview video for that one. And I have Maladum, which arrived, so I've been working my way through that rulebook, which is a beast. So that coverage isn't coming next week though; that's coming the following week. And then Sea Beast is coming Monday. It's another preview. I might have overextended a little bit.
You have a lot of previews
A lot of
inbound,
previews,
man.
dude. I talked to a lot of people at Gen Con, and it was fun. And like, yeah, that sounds like cool. Let's cover this game and stuff. And so yeah, things happened. So
Ah,
a lot of previews. But I do want to get through other games I'm playing as well. So I'm mentioning all that stuff. So that's
uh,
coming in the future. So
yeah, just take some mental sanity
I
days if
know.
you need to, man. That sounds like
I
a
don't know.
lot.
Well, like Deliverance one was easy because that is expansion. I already know how the game plays, so it was fun, easy to cover.
Yeah,
Some of these other
yeah,
ones though, we'll see. But
yeah. And I saw Jan post that Marvel United season 3 is finally delivering in their area.
oh,
Good for
good.
you. We probably won't get our copies until like late October, maybe November.
October, November, yeah.
Yeah, so East Coast of US it really got hosed. So we'll wait. We'll get our stuff when we do, and we got other games to play in the meantime.
Yep, yep, for sure. Cool. Well, I think that's it. I apologize for the disruption in the middle of this one, guys. Um, I'll try to see if I can't do some things to prevent that in the future. But I want to thank everyone for watching, and we'll see you next time at the guild. Oh, and go check out Alex's video because that's what inspired this response. So
Mm.
I have it in the description of this video. You can click that link. So, okay,
Yeah, cool. All right.
catch you guys later. Have a good day. Bye bye.
Bye.